Hey y'all. So I hope you're doing well. So I just wanted to get on here real quick. And I just want to make sure again, y'all, that I'm dropping content for y'all and just helping people to just get a completely different perspective. So I just want to tell y'all a little bit about my weight loss journey. I don't know if anybody can relate to me, but I was one of those kids who just grew up chunky. Like I grew up with weight problems. My parents, they're from the country. So you know how country people eat. They eat good. Okay? They eat really, really good. And so, it's all good until you get to about middle school, right? You start to notice I can only speak for myself. So for me, middle school was like the catalyst for me to change. Um, and when I got to middle school, I didn't see too many girls that looked like me, Growing up in Florida, it was all different types of people. So you had your Spanish girls, you had your black girls, white girls, you had your Cuban girls, your Greek girls, just all different type of girls. And so even with that, even with other black girls, like there were no other plus size black girls growing up. Like I grew up in the early 2000s, you know what I'm saying? Like 99, 2000. People were still pretty skinny then. It really wasn't that much of an epidemic with like weight like it is now. Like these children nowadays are super heavy. Their food is super processed. So it's just like obesity is just normal again amongst, you know what I'm saying, like teenagers now. It wasn't like that for me back in the day. So when I saw that there were girls that did not look like me, it was kind of like, oh man, like this is really rough. Cause like you don't fit society's norm. The boys don't want to talk to you because you fat. You're considered fat. And I wanted to be pretty. I wanted to be one of the girls that gets a boyfriend, and I wanted to be liked by boys too. And I always knew I had a health problem because whenever I would get checkups when I was younger, the doctors always told my parents, like, she needs to lose weight. And so, like, weight has always been just something that I've heard about. So, it's always been hard to be settled and be at peace in my body, and you really don't have much of a choice when you're young because it's like, you eat what your parents cook or you live the way that your parents live. And I want to say around seventh or eighth grade, like right before I went to high school, I really wanted to get serious about losing weight. So like back in the day, shout out to all my girls that grew up in the 90s and 2000s. Y'all remember when y'all mama was doing the Billy Blank tapes and stuff like that. So my mom had a lot of workout tapes. And so I started doing those workout tapes because I wanted to fit in with my peers. I did not want to be labeled as the fat black girl anymore. You know what I'm saying? I wanted the opportunity for like a guy to like me and to like the way that I look. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to take my health seriously. I wanted to feel good in my skin. I wanted to feel confident in myself. Now, at certain points, it did become extreme. Because I started taking laxatives on top of working out, on top of like skipping meals. So I became very obsessive, and it started young because like you don't look like everybody else, and that's very hard. And then it's very hard when it's not a lot of black girls at your school on top of that. And there's like foreign girls everywhere. There's white girls. And so like you don't look like that. You know what I'm saying? So it was very hard as a kid. It was very hard having and dealing with childhood obesity. Like I really lived that. You know what I'm saying? Like I really lived that. And that's a very hard life to live, because it's like once you get to that age, um it's very hard to come out of that. You know what I'm saying? Like just the cycles of losing the weight and gaining the weight back, losing the weight, gaining the weight back. That's been going on since middle school. It's been going on since middle school. It has been an uphill battle with this weight. But y'all, one thing about me is that I don't give up. I do not give up. I know what God told me. I know how I'm supposed to look. I know the lifestyle that I'm supposed to live. And I know that um, breaking obesity is a generational curse that I have been called to break off of my bloodline. I am not on any type of medications. Um, I do not do anything as far as like Western medicine. I'm not on any blood pressure pills. I am not on any diabetic medication. Now, at one point in time, probably about 2 years ago, I was pre diabetic. And I did have high blood pressure, especially with having fibroids. I do have fibroids as well. Fibroids tends to make you have elevated blood pressure as well. However, through changing my diet, exercising, having a therapist, and working through my trauma, because it's a lot of it. Don't worry, we gonna get to that as well. And working through my trauma and learning how to eat properly, learning how to log my food, log what I'm eating so that I can see exactly what I'm eating, whether it's a good day or a bad day, baby. I'm going to log those calories, okay? Because like you have to know where you are. And also too, just like making peace and making amends with my past, especially if you're an emotional eater like myself. Sometimes like just some of the stuff you've been through and some of the pain and the trauma you had to endure, you know, it becomes, food becomes a coping mechanism. Like you use food to self-soothe, and you use food to calm those negative emotions, to calm the insecurity, the depression, the sadness, the anxiety. But like y'all, I'm tired of that cycle. So like this weight loss journey, I'm being very intentional. I am taking my time. I am allowing the results to result slowly so that I can keep it off. I do not want to go through another cycle of weight loss, and I don't want that for y'all either. So that's why I'm being so open and transparent, because like if we're honest with a lot of us, we eat because something or some things are eating us. And I wholeheartedly believe that in order for your weight loss journey to be successful, you have to deal with all aspects of who you are as a person. Like, yes, working out and you know what I'm saying, changing your eating habits, that's physical. But we also can't ignore our emotional well being, our mental health. We can't ignore the psychological aspect. We can't ignore our spiritual health, because they all work together. And if one component of our well being is off, 10 times out of 10, it's going to be off in those other areas that I just named. Don't forget financially, because how many of us, I was one of those type of people too, how many of us spend money on food and eating out? We're eating our money. So financially, we're broken. You know what I'm saying? So like these are just some of the things that I'm naming that I am adamantly working on now. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. And if I could just leave you with anything, if you are on a fitness journey, whether you're trying to gain weight or lose weight, you're going to have grace with yourself. Forgive yourself for sometimes binge eating, sometimes breaking your diet, even breaking your fast if that's what God called you to do, because you're learning and unlearning at the same time. You are unlearning bad eating habits, you are unlearning cycles with your weight, while trying to learn better eating habits and trying to figure out what coping strategies or what you need to do on a daily basis to build a healthy lifestyle. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes grace, and it takes you being kind to yourself. So please keep that in mind and keep going. Okay, we in this together. Okay, all right, love y'all. Bye from your favorite CPS. Have a good night.